Hi, it's me, Mark Orwoll, at it again. Thanks for coming by. Just watch this and come on back here just in a minute. I'll be waiting for you. Thanks.
Let the swing begin. Mark Orwoll is at it again, and that cat is swinging. Yeah, that cat is swinging. The party don't stop when Mark's in the spin.
I walked into Mr. Nelson's 7th grade history class and immediately noticed the outsized ping pong paddle hanging from the wall next to the chalkboard. I asked the kid next to me what it was. He looked at me like I was a Martian. "It's for swats," he said. "Swats." At the time, I had no idea what swats were. That would change soon enough. I managed to make it through 7th grade without having first-hand experience of swats. But something changed in 8th grade. I became, well, more spirited. "See me after class," said Ed Edwards, the head of Andrew McNally Junior High's PE department. I can't recall now exactly what I did wrong, but it must have been pretty bad because Mr. Edwards was a nice man. A kind man. Also, I was in his advanced math class before flunking out, and I played on the school basketball team. I was basically a good kid who tried. The PE teachers shared a large office just off the gymnasium. I showed up after class. I was told to drop my pants, bend over, and hold on to the edge of his desk. Then Mr. Edwards whacked me with his paddle. Many of the teacher's paddles were ingeniously devised by the devious woodshop instructor, the otherwise normal Mr. Williams. He had a small pile of boards meant to be carved into paddles by the 7th and 8th grade boys, no girls allowed in shop class in those days, to give the teachers as a gift in the hopes that they wouldn't use them against the gift givers. He advised them to drill holes through the edges of the paddle to cut down on wind resistance. I realize this sounds horrendous to people nowadays. "The man should be arrested," some would wail. "This is why young people become criminals," others would moan. I said, "Whoa, better not piss off Mr. Edwards again." Besides, a certain cachet wrapped around the broad, muscular, girl-attracting shoulders of those of us who had gotten a SWAT. Manly men of a distinctly masculine mien. Getting a SWAT was, in a weird way, a badge of honor. You did what you had to do, got punished for it, took it like a hero, and lived to tell the tale. Oh yeah, I'm a man. And please remember, I was 13 at the time. My brain was not yet fully developed. When I got home after Mr. Edwards thwacked me, I dropped my trousers and looked at my skinny rear end in the bathroom mirror. There was a welt the exact same size and shape of Ed Edwards' paddle just below my butt. See, there was an art to paddling little boys in the 1960s. For some reason, you didn't aim for the butt cheeks, which would seem to me, even now, to have been an easier target and a lot less traumatic to the paddle receiver because of the natural cushioning. Instead, the teachers aimed for the upper thigh, just below the butt cheek. They were cunning, those teachers. That was where the pain would be felt most acutely and where the ability to sit down in class the next morning would be less impacted. I showed my dad the welt and told him what had happened. His response, "Well, I guess you won't screw up like that again, will you?" No sympathy. None whatsoever. Not even my own father, my flesh and blood, would stand up for me against kindly old Ed Edwards. And then it happened again. And this time, I remember why. There was a kid on my basketball team named Steve O'Gwyn. Steve, if you're watching this, sorry. He used to cry all the time. In 8th grade, my fellow basketball player Jeff Sims and I detested the crybaby thing. So one time, during basketball practice, while Steve was crying over some perceived misdeed, I said to Jeff, having given this a great deal of consideration and preparation, "I'll kneel on the ground behind him and then you push him over, okay?" Jeff thought that was a great idea. So I casually walked behind Steve and got on my hands and knees behind him. Then Jeff walked over to him and pushed him so that he fell over me and crashed on the ground. This was not exactly the planning of D-Day. Unfortunately for us, Mr. Owens, the boys' basketball coach, although he was only 5 feet 6 inches himself, called Jeff and me to order. "In the office," he said, "now." Mr. Owens didn't ask why we had hazed Steve. He didn't ask, "What were you thinking?" He didn't tell us that our parents would be disappointed. He just said, "Drop your pants." God forgive you if you were wearing tidy whities and other people were in the room. Boxer shorts were what the cool guys wore. Briefs were for guys like Steve O'Gwyn. And then Steve walked into the office. What? Had he been invited to watch Jeff and me humiliated and paddled by Mr. Owens? But no. Mr. Owens had summoned Steve to join us for a paddling. Why? For crying. Jeff got paddled first. Took it like a man. I got paddled second. Took it like a man. Steve got paddled third. God bless that boy. Took it like a man. I'm Mark Orwoll. I've been at it again. You have to excuse me. I'll be back again here next week. Please join us, won't you?
Let the swing begin.